What's up guys, Michael Marmina here from Marmina Exercise and Nutrition. This episode of Method Mondays is about the trap bar deadlift. This exercise is probably our go-to variation for deadlift variations. Because our members mostly consist of the general population looking to be fit, strong and healthy, it doesn't matter if they do straight bar, trap bar, sumo or any other deadlift variation. In short, the trap bar deadlift is much easier to learn, has a lower risk and higher reward, subsequently allows for the production of more force and thus trainable athletic qualities such as power production. This is probably the safest and most accessible deadlift variation. In order to begin this exercise, stand in the middle of the bar. Place your hands on the high handles in the middle of the handles. Ensure you have a very firm grip. From this position, push your knees out into your straight and locked arms. One of the best parts about this deadlift is that you can bend your knees a little bit more than regular deadlift, but for now, opt for vertical shins so you can make it as hinge-like as possible. Slight positive shin angles make this exercise a little too squatty and you end up just squatting again, though that variation can be used in specific circumstances. As you can see, Marina performs this exercise with her knees more bent. Her shins aren't exactly vertical, but it allows her to be in a more appropriate position to pull the deadlift from the ground and pull the slack out of the bar. This means that if the bar weighed 100 kilos, you'd put 99.999 kilograms of tension into the bar. In order to ready you for the lift that you're about to do, potentially mitigate the risk of injury because you're just ripping the weight off the ground and allowing for a more efficient, safe and effective way to lift the weight. As it pertains to the position of your head, cervical extension or flexion, or worrying about the subtle differences between the degree at which you flex and extend your cervical spine isn't all that much of a concern, and you should adopt the head position that allows you to maintain slight lumbar extension. So basically a straight back. Once you've got your knees out, chest up, straight arms, stand up and push the world away. It's important to mention that excessive anterior and posterior tilting isn't really necessary. Lots of people will either really arch their back or excessively round the thoracic spine, probably in order to train their glutes. However, I'd contend at the end of the concentric action, due to this exercise being in the vertical plane and the lack of horizontal forces, your glutes aren't working as hard as they would in, let's say, hip thrusts, for instance. So the best thing you can do is just stand up and squeeze your bum. And this is basically to ensure that you have an effective lockout and you've actually locked out the deadlift. There isn't really an eccentric action, as this is a deadlift variation. You're pretty much just going to push your hips back and drop the weight on the ground with control. That does sound like the definition of an eccentric action, but there really isn't a controlled slow lowering phase compared to an exercise like a Romanian deadlift. I'd contend that you also should come to a complete stop before you initiate the next rep. Hence the name of the exercise, deadlift, as you lift a weight from a dead stop. It's also important to mention not to bounce any sort of deadlift off the ground, so the dead stop ensures that you don't bounce the deadlift. And the reason for this is that research has shown that bouncing the deadlift actually decays the trainability and the qualities that you train as it pertains to the deadlift. You actually miss out on developing maximal forces in the early portion of the lift. So as you can see, for the reps that Marina performs, she resets every rep. When you're lifting heavy and performing rep maxes, potentiating force production via breathing might be important. So once you've locked your arms out, your knees are pushed out into your locked arms, your chest is up, and have your head in a comfortable position. Take in a big belly circumferential breath in your belly. This means that the belly breath is going to not just be in the front of your tummy, especially not in your chest, at least initially, but also laterally out to the sides and breathe into your back. It's a very weird and silly cue, but it just means that the breath should be all around your tummy and not just in the front. After you've taken a big belly breath, stand up, push the world away. Hold that same breath until you touch the ground again. Reset the breath and perform the prescribed or desired number of reps. Hope you guys found this video of the trap bar deadlift informative and helpful. What exercises do you need help with? Comment them in the comment section below. For coaching inquiries, DM us or email info@marmina.com.au. Speak to you in the next video.